Hello, hello everyone. Who do we have here? Hello Quantum! Hello Saint, hello Smout, hello Web Abuser. Welcome, welcome. Yes, we are indeed back to suffering. I missed 80% of yesterday and will miss 40% of today. I'm still going insane. Well, watch it all, so you're going completely insane, Saint. So, we have one more call to go through. Yen was nice enough to send it to you. It's apparently like a part 2, aftermath, you know? A call that just happened 1 month ago, funnily enough. Hello, crazy hazelnuts. Hello, hello, and welcome to Pain. Hello, Mylene. Welcome. So, we will look into that, and we will see how long we need. Because when we still have some times after that, I would love to go over the George original, or rather the re-upload, George Raccoon video from Doodletones. And otherwise I will just do it on another stream. We will see how far we get tonight. But first, let's start with this call. It was uploaded by Jester of the Moon. Silence isn't awesome, Mr. A. SCC Courthouse call. I tell ya, I need to find my way into the SCC Courthouse. I want to be a peanut there.
So, before the video actually starts, let's do a brief content warning for discussion.
I love content warnings.
Of predation and mentions of V Omega and Vigelsio Centinove. Another.
I never heard that kind of content warning. Trigger warning. We will mention these people.
Really brief thing I'll also bring up to our attention, just so it's on record, is also the fact that part of this call has been cut out due to having very intimate details about Mr. A, which we will not leak for his privacy, even though he's a complete dickhead, because here...
Very nice, very nice.
We don't just leak...
We're getting fat tonight, we will.
shit from people. Anyway, that's all. Enjoy.
Sup clowns, today we're going to be looking at a particular call that was held in the SCC Courthouse, which is a conflict resolution server that deals with matters concerning the
Is there a trigger warning about peanuts? Saint. Saint.
CCN's members. It's ran by Aaron Tempest, Autumn Kohai, Ephraim Josine, Lio Convoy, and myself. A small bit of preamble aside, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the context.
I told you just right now, Saint. God damn it. It's from Jester of the Moon. Open your ear holes. YouTube is so too homophobic to let me call them the slur of my people. Oh, and that on Pride Month. Insane. Oh my god, Saint. I want to start a stream and you're driving me insane right now. God damn it, here. Jesus.
So, a user or ex-commentator by the name of Mr. A, who had still been hanging around our spaces at the time, had been found out via the cloud.
Oh god, why are they so blurry? Can I get me the HD? Oh god, it's so blurry. A Valonian Sky. Listen, just because you supported and are friends with someone who I greatly disdain doesn't mean I'm gonna hate you for it. You're kind and not overbearing to me, so why would I have a reason to dislike you? I'm still scared that anyone here would leave me for supporting V, and this happening just brought back that fear. So this was after the call where they exiled people just for still being friends with the person who was still friends with V, who was a predator. I got that right? Listen, Vega, as long as I never have to interact or see V ever again, I don't care if you still talk to him. That's understandable. I just don't want to lose anyone here, and you all are so nice and fun to be with. And having the fear of abandonment for my own decisions coming back is painful. I'm gonna try to sleep if I can. So literally everything went wrong today and the owner told all the cake ball crew? What is the cake ball crew? To go home. The only reason I haven't been sent home is because someone has to wrap the shelf pies. We're jumping right in. Yes, Potterbella's room, we are. Bubonic Tonic, I found a bed today at a place I do art. We feed him water and ants we found because he was stuck in a trash can. Oh no! What's his name? What's the bed's name? Are you double dipping? Yes, he is indeed. I'll live. Welcome to pain. Saint is indeed double dipping on me. Shame upon him. Shame him.
Palace logs to have known about Vigelsio still hanging around known serial predator V Omega, amongst a few others who seemingly didn't want to speak up at fucking all for some reason, even though they absolutely should have. After these screenshots
So again, very funny. Multiple people seem to have known, aside from the one who got exiled, but only these two, Keyblade and Tippy, got exiled. Quite interesting.
up and put into the dedicated Cloud Palace thread and courthouse, an argument sprung up between Mr. A, Ephraim, and Fractured Light in that thread. This, of course...
Oh god, I can't read that. Well, a friend of mine just flat out told me he's leaving our friendship. All because I supported V from the backlash? Exactly, Tippy also hugs Vega. I'm shaking and feeling my eyes watering. I know he and I barely talk due to IRL stuff on my end, but I appreciated our chats. I don't want him to just leave me after dropping me this bomb. All I said was hello and he just tells me this. I'm glad to hear that... Michi? I hope you feel better now. Also, I'm terribly sorry to hear that about Vega. I hope you both feel better, guys. I don't even know if I'll sleep soon from this. I was supposed to sleep earlier, but I wanted to catch up with them and this happened. I just hope nobody else does this. I'm incredibly crushed. Just because you supported and are friends with someone I greatly disdain doesn't mean I hate you for it. Okay, that's the other thing we just read, I think. So someone texts Mr. A. Need to ask you something.
Went nowhere with Mr. A.
If memory serves, this is when the news had just broken about V. It was at this point, at least in my mind, it's reasonable to give Vigil a little bit of slack for being indecisive at that moment about staying in contact with V. The expectation, however, was that he'd soon process his feelings and cut V off. That should have been more explicitly encouraged. Is this line of reasoning at least understandable? How long did this grace period last? I don't believe there was a rigid time set, but I personally would have given him like 1 to 2 weeks max. Also, hello and welcome, Butterweller's room. Mr. Bogolini. Good old Mr. A, or someone who I called Mr. A because that's what the guy is. Oh no. Hi Chris, welcome to pain.
Basically trying and failing.
How this is 2 months after the allegations. You know it's bad when we came and added Autumn on Twitter to find why she blocked me. He actually did that? Yes. He didn't have to. He did that. Oh damn. Hey, it's Jace. Good old Ace. I've had V blocked for ages. I never saw that. But he did.
Miserably to run Light and Ephraim around.
Okay, this is me thinking back on it right now. Yes, I will admit that it is not good that I said this at all. That said, there were very few times I engaged in discussion involving V with Vigil around. I was one of the many people blindsided by the fact that Vigil was still in contact with V after all that time. If you want to chew me out for it, fine. But it'll have to be when I get home. I get home in 3.5 hours. I'll wait for you to get home to continue this discussion. Alright, fucks. Here's what's gonna happen. Y'all, as in people who aren't Light or A, are gonna shut the fuck up for the next little while till a proper discussion can be had. Sound good at everyone? Just so we don't get down dogpile or anything. What's this about pain? It will be pain, Ula.
In circles. This led to a call being held by them to put Mr.
Oh, fuck.
Failing miserably to run Light and Ephraim around in circles. This led to a call.
Mr. A, I apologize it took me longer than I would have liked to be in a position to sit down and type this. To start, yes, I absolutely mind that Vigil was still budding around with V, especially knowing the damage it can cause, as shown with Cloak and Dagger. Why I said I didn't mind, I really don't know, beyond wanting to give a friend leniency, that in retrospect he should have never gotten. Relearning that was something I had said hasn't sat well with me. I still haven't gotten over how me blindly trusting Suzy left to people getting hurt by George. And now I'm faced with how I played a much more active role in facilitating what happened in Cloak and Dagger than I remember. Ah, this is the good old... Ah, I've been manipulated. I have been manipulated. Suzy left me hurt. While I'm hoping there can be an amicable conclusion to this, I understand that isn't entirely up to me. What's this video? It's a recent video. Silence isn't awesome. Mr. A. SCC Courthouse Call from Jester of the Moon. It's like Jen told me it's like a part 2 of the Cloak and Daggers. Hello, Freak Show Willow. Welcome to Pain. And Silver Crow. Anyone else who joined and I missed?
All being held by them to put Mr. A.
I'm on mobile. Someone tag in. I'm just going to say real quick, why are all of your answers in present tense? We don't need to know what you believe now. We need to know what you believed when you did this. What was your grace period at the time supposed to be? I don't care what you will do now. I care what you did when it mattered. I don't need to listen to Captain Hindsight from South Park.
A task, but also
Open your shill. My shill. The only shill I do. Okay, fine. I pin my shill. There you go. My shill is pinned. Okay, boss.
So to ask him questions.
I really don't know how long the grace period was meant to be. I answer in the present tense because I don't want to leave any room for someone thinking that I still somehow think that way currently. And when I had read your question originally in DMs, I thought it was in present tense. If you have no plans for stopping the grace period, then it's not a grace period. It's just allowing something. Well, if that were true, then Vigil wouldn't have thought to be secretive about it. But clearly he did.
Regarding the situation, I showed up somewhere.
Hi, Tusky. Welcome to Pain. He really wasn't, though. That was the revisionist narrative created by Cloud Palace members. Not all of them in the know, to be fair, after the fact. Yeah, it really wasn't a big secret from what I have seen. Okay, how many times did he talk about it past the screenshots you showed me? Several by our count. And what was the conversation surrounding those times? What specifically did he say regarding it? Testing the water of how much the people know. I see.
Somewhere around the middle.
I
of
know
call
the
to
tricks.
Help moderate, and I also.
I openly mentioned that to several people. We even have Jace directly acknowledging it. Also, what does this have to do with the conversation we're having? We aren't talking about the Cloud Palace. We're talking about you. As the person who found most instances, there's like 4 or 5 times to my recollection, 2 of which we see you in. I was in the Cloud Palace for 3 years, and the screenshot you took was from there. I want to know if it's reasonable for me to assert that I wasn't paying close attention to a lot of those conversations, as I remember actively not wanting to partake in. Sure.
Watch the previous ordeal in the thread happen.
And there's no mention of Vigil cutting V off for over a year after this message. Oh, you paid enough attention to see and respond and affirm Vigil's feelings. Miss me with that shit. What exactly did I say in the second instance? Instance 1.
In real time, feeling my brain.
Instance 2. I won't judge you for being friends with a pedophile. Angel, Sparkle, Rainbow. See, this is why I answered the question in present tense. We're not talking about what you're saying now. We're talking about what you said then. What the fuck are you going on about? Also, you're going to stop dodging the question anytime soon? Or are we going to keep around the mulberry bush?
Cells wanting to die. After this call, Mr. A was officially cast out from our spaces and exiled. After this, Mr. A tried
Oh god. This are so many.
was officially cast out from our spaces and exiled. After
Okay, here we go. Mr. A. I'm sorry to everyone that's been hurt by me. Eventually, I want to try and extend specific apologies. That said, there are a few other things I'd like to say. I've been reflecting a lot on the discussion surrounding the Cloud Palace stuff. And I'm struggling to find any meaningful difference between the things that were said in there and that are rightfully...
After this,
oh, God damn it!
A tried to lie about...
Pro streamer moment. God damn it, Zoomers. Curse upon the Zoomers. Go back. God damn it. Okay, one more time. I can do it.
Mr. A was officially cast out from our spaces and exiled. After...
What the fuck, man? Hey, thanks Rickshaw Willow for subscribing. Saying this... Where is it? And I'm struggling to find any meaningful difference between the things that were said in there that are being rightfully ridiculed and a good amount of things that are said in Courthouse. Saying the stuff in Courthouse is justified, isn't a good defense, because that's exactly what the people in the Cloud Palace thought when they said the things they did. It's not even that SCC is unaware of that being an issue. Liars only had to talk about it several times, with little meaningful change actually occurring. Okay, I need to put this SCC off. The SCC is legitimately awful to people it wants to villainize. From psychoanalyzing everything a person has ever said to jumping to conclusion based on assertion. All in all, attempt to justify being awful to people they don't like. Let's not pretend that didn't happen to people like Win or Julie. Oh, Win and Julie mentioned. Oh. The jumping to conclusion thing I noticed getting particularly bad when the conversation surrounding Suzy, something about people thinking she deleted the SCC Wikia when Wikia as a whole was simply down. Couldn't even wait till I left the courthouse for them to do it to me. Oh, these people hate it when it gets turned on them. I always love that. Even started doing so in the general chat, which they know I can still see. The sound of a woman dropping 35 oranges. Yeah, pellets on her arms. Fuck you, Saint. Okay. Can I?
Yes.
Haha. I did not secretly buddy with V like Dahl did. I did not go around silencing people or otherwise cover for Vigil like Tippy and Marv did. So that wouldn't make me a hypocrite. And I certainly did not engage in inappropriate conversations around minors like Vigil or Nico Shadows did. So to insinuate my case is anything like theirs is disingenuous. Did I fuck up? Yes, absolutely. I will continue to adamantly argue gross negligence over the idea that I somehow knew all along. When it's very clear in my DMs with Vigil, I completely misread what he had said, based on my following message. But because the conversation quickly moved to something else, I eventually forgot about it. And when I went through my DMs when Cloak and Dagger happened, the most likely scenario, at least to me, as to why I missed that DM, was because I manually scrolling through all my DMs with him, registered the name Marv, and wound up skimming over it. Ah, of course, I didn't see it. Oh. Happens so many times. Oh, I misunderstood. I didn't read it. Because in my mind, why would a conversation about Marv pre-Cloak and Dagger have anything to do with V Omega? No, it doesn't sit well with me that a blunder like that happened, and it's a big part of the reason I'm wanting to apologize to the people who were hurt by V and Vigil.
I tried to lie about...
On that Neko Shadows thing, though, Ephraim, an SCC member, deliberately put emphasis on Neko Shadows when listing the Cloak and Dagger people. He said I should join. I highlighted this because I'm fairly confident he knows how much of a sore spot that relationship was for me. From getting broken up with because of a different fuck-up, to making up by deciding to stay just friends. only for me to have to be the one to cut her off very shortly after with the stuff revealed in the Shom's call. Very shitty of him to do. I haven't been in contact with her since the Shom's call, nor have I made any attempts to. Ask her if you don't believe me. And then someone else decided to bring up my contribution to the Raydog, focusing on my retribution line. Something I has agreed was cringe to say. I've made a conscious effort to not say things like that for years now. Imagine having to be like, I've made a conscious effort not to be cringe and gay. But was about Rei Kohai, someone who this person very much agrees should be put in jail for what she did, and was not even the day before celebrating the fact that another account of Rei's had been tracked down. I don't stand behind my contribution to that dog anymore, but this person still wanted to get a pot shot with that. Light, another SEC member, continually got onto me for the fact I have an unreliable memory. There's many such cases, there are many such cases. Expecting me to have a perfect memory. If I don't, that makes me a liar. No, it's just always very, oh, what's the word? When they forget something, it's always very convenient most of the time. It's very convenient, the things they forget.
About this.
I don't expect you to buy it, but I legitimately struggle to remember the specifics of any conversation I had that occurred more than 2 weeks ago. More than 2 weeks ago? Unless that conversation is in front of me. But even then, I will often get dates wrong. That's why I often ask questions about the tangential related things to many of the conversations I've been a part of that I no longer have access to, so I can better place myself in my shoes from back then. I try to and remember the context of conversations. I had assumed I had more than demonstrated that to people. But the concept of some people legitimately having a faulty memory who isn't on medications is unacceptable. You try and remember the specifics of a random conversation you had several years ago off the top of your head. Can I do this? No, of course not. I want to make it clear that I do recognize that I fucked up. And I want to extend an apology to everyone who was hurt by what Vigil did. But I can do that and also acknowledge other people being horrible about it.
Apparently, he also tried to lie to Firebolt.
Oh, tried to lie to Firebolt? Was going to ask yesterday, but I spent it almost entirely sleep deprived. Mr. A told me that he found out in a courthouse call that Vigil told him about his friendship with V, but misunderstood what he meant when he was told. Wasn't sent screenshots, but he apologized to me for it. He also told me that you have more information. Wanted to ask you to make sure what he said was accurate. He didn't just misunderstand what he was told once, he got told 3 times. Twice in 2020 and once in 2022. 3 times? I can give you the call if you'd like. It's about 36 minutes. I would appreciate that.
PT, another ex-commentator, about what happened, so due to him lying about the call, it is now public. Anyways, get a drink. You'll fucking need one, trust me. And let's get right into the call.
Do you guys want to hear I will go back once again, so we can hear what they say without me reading all the screenshots. You know, just so we get the whole video in there.
And by Aaron Tempest, Autumn Kohai, Ephraim Josine, Lio Convoy, and myself. A small bit of preamble aside, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the context. So, a user or ex-commentator by the name of Mr. A, who had still been hanging around our spaces at the time, had been found out via the Cloud Palace logs to have known about Vigelsio still hanging around known serial predator V Omega, amongst a few others who seemingly didn't want to speak up at fucking all for some reason, even though they absolutely should have. After these screenshots were dug up and put into the dedicated Cloud Palace thread in Courthouse, an argument sprung up between Mr. A, Ephraim, and Fractured Light in that thread. This, of course, went nowhere, with Mr. A basically trying and failing miserably to run Light and Ephraim around in circles. This led to a call being held by them to put Mr. A to task, but also to ask him questions regarding the situation. I showed up somewhere around the middle of the call to help moderate, and I also watched the previous ordeal in the thread happen in real time, feeling my brain cells wanting to die. After this call, Mr. A was officially cast out from our spaces and exiled. After this, Mr. A tried to lie about the situation and apparently also tried to lie to Firebolt PT, another ex-commentator, about what happened, so due to him lying about the call, it is now public. Anyways, get a drink. You'll fucking need one, trust me.
How many ex-commentators are there? There's so many of them. Mr. A was apparently ex-commentator and Firebolt too. It's crazy. Right, taking a sip. I need my monster. For this, we need our drinks. Get your drinks, guys. Get your water. Get your energy drink, get your beer, whatever you need. There we go. Also need my little guy, I need my little quantum on my shoulder. Excommunicated commentators. You have your tea, Quantum, that's good. Too many appeared out of nowhere and apparently disappeared without anyone really noticing.
Me, and let's get right into the call now.
So I am recording now. Hello, Mr. A. Are you gonna unmute?
Yeah, Mr. A, you're one of the people who needs to unmute.
I'm sorry, someone was talking to me. Hi.
You're fine, you're fine.
You're fine, you're fine.
So, Mr. A, you didn't answer any of the questions I kept asking you in side chat.
Side chat?
I'm not
Thread,
We're
right?
not
Yes, it was Mr. A. Yes. I am next commentator, member of the commentator community, but left 3 years before all that. There's so many of you guys! I remember commenting on the video you're watching. Damn, you have a cameo in the comments?
Side chat, the
side
thread.
chat.
The thread is what I meant. Sorry, I misspoke.
Okay, restate.
How long?
Restate them real quick.
How long was the grace period you had where it was understandable for Vigil to...
Why the fuck is already someone screeching in the background? What the fuck is happening?
I don't know!
You don't know? Then it's
Why
not...
is Mr. A already screeching? Are these guys ACC or SCC? I would guess SCC. At least Mr. A because he was in the Cloud Palace. Why is he talking like this? Don't question it, Porterbello's room. Don't question it at this point.
Really a great...
This is the equivalent of commentary hell. I know what? Good question. Is there like an SCC hell?
grace period, is it? Is it just gonna be...
XCC too. Found out the hardware brain damage. Zero situation do not mix well at the slightest. Also this SCC drama, I believe. Oh yeah, at least you realized. You know, that takes you already above some people else. I'm not a commentator, but I have a running judgy commentary running in my head constantly. And I will read it for you, web abuser. I am your Lorex. I speak for the web abuser. Take me out. Light, Ephraim, Jester, and Mr. A was all SCC. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I know Ephraim, but the others, I haven't heard much before.
be vibes that determine when it ends? I said ends.
It was understood and eventually, like, he should stop.
X, what is your art judgment this time? after you already judged the art last time. I don't get the visuals. What am I looking at? So I would guess this is Mr. A. This is a Joker guy. I don't know which one of those Ephraim is.
Stop talking to him. I don't know when. Okay. It wasn't my call to make, so I didn't give you an exact number because that number was never decided upon.
Why is he already screeching and screaming? Why is he already coping?
All that was decided upon. Eventually, he needs to stop talking to Vic.
Ephraim is a green car. I don't see a car in there, Saint.
Okay. Mr. A.
Okay, first of all, chill your beans.
Yeah.
Chill your beans.
Second of all,
Calm down a little.
no,
You're saying I didn't answer the question when I answered it twice now. 3 times with this.
Okay. And chili beans.
Mr. A, if you need to take a minute to calm down, that's perfectly fine. We'll allow you to do that.
Yeah, I'll take that minute.
Take a deep breath, find your inner zen, chill your vibes.
Okay, we'll give you a couple of minutes.
I hope the couple of minutes are not in there. Nah. Nah, you can't be serious. Nah.
Huckster is typing. He's typing at 90. Like, did he end up finishing the message?
What the fuck,
also,
man?
I misread the Jackbox time. It's actually next week.
No.
I'm stupid. Yes. That'd be awesome.
Go on now.
How's Mr. A? Have you calmed down?
You could have cut this part out, man.
Yeah.
Mr. A would have been smart. He would have just dipped. I'm 32 minutes late because I was cutting my hair. It's fine, spare me. We just read the screenshots. We're like 4 minutes into the video. It's fine. It's fine. Fuck, I'm already half an hour going and we're 4 minutes in the video. That's amazing.
I have.
Okay.
Enough, I'd say.
I have. Calm down.
Okay.
So if I may
think,
explain
well,
to you...
I would like to explain what I was saying real quick. The problem I've had with your answers so far, Mr. A, is they're very collective. Do you know what I mean by that? Fine if you don't.
I understand what you mean. It's I'm giving an answer based on what everyone else around me was saying.
What? What? Use your own brain cells, for fuck's sake. I'm like, I need an answer for what everyone around me is saying, bruh.
Is that what you mean?
Well, essentially, yes. You're telling me that like there was no agreed upon time, but I'm not asking for like what the majority consensus of the Cloud Palace was. I'm asking for what you personally would have considered an unacceptable amount of time. When you would have sat there and
I answered that already, and
I answered that already.
And Light gave me a hard time for that.
Okay.
So hang on. What did you answer with for the?
I answered with, thinking on it now, 1 to 2 weeks would have been a grace period that I personally would have decided.
Okay, but you earlier.
And then you tell me that this conversation happened in months after V got outed.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
2 months.
Okay, but Mr. A, I think you're getting a little confused here. Now, to be fair, this conversation does have a few different moving parts, so I'm not like calling
Just like anything in this community. Internet out what I miss? Not much. Spenny got me lacking. Of course they did. I think the call explains why the background is Super Mario 64 screenshot. The true storyline, the true story point we need.
dumb for getting confused or anything. What Light was asking wasn't what your standards are today. It's like, okay, imagine when this happened if I...
Hello, Shadow, what you miss, Pain? Me reading some screenshots. It's pretty much Cloak and Dagger's part 2, because it turns out some more people did know about the whole V situation and Vigil than just K-Blade and Tippy.
Use a time machine to go back and talk to 2020 Mr. A, okay? What would that 2020 Mr. A have told Light, assuming the same question was asked?
I really don't know. Maybe I would have said like a month or two.
Okay.
I'm just gonna ask up blatantly. So you don't know. Did you even think about it that hard at the time?
No, and that is a problem that's been, brought up to me indirectly more than once since Cloak and Dagger.
brought it up to me more than once since Cloak and Dagger.
Okay,
Gotcha.
because there are multiple times, where
And again, others got literally excommunicated for that reason. So quite funny how more people knew.
you are confronted, or not confronted, you are told about this. There's at least 2 cases.
Lio was the golem and people needed to be sacrificed.
Where you are made aware of the fact that, hey, Vigil and V are friends. And you say nothing. And the biggest thing that has to me is that if this grace period is any less than a year, you're fucked. Because the first mention of Vigil cutting V off is a year after this conversation. In fact, I could probably find it. It's not necessarily that he actually cut V off, but he makes an insinuation of something that would imply he cuts V off around the time that Spoctor was doing his bullshit.
Excuse me? Who? I know who Spoctor is, but we call him that stupid fucking lizard.
And it's not until then that there is any record that Vigil cut V off.
Writing a list of who knew of V Omega connecting Virgil. Yeah, I suspect it were quite a few more people. And again, really funny that only a few people, like aka Keyblade and Tippy, got excommunicated and put on display. You know, instead of everyone else that knew.
In 2022, January 2022, so almost a year and a half. So, do you think if we time traveled back to 2020, your fucking 2020 self would have said a year and a half?
I don't think I would have. No.
And I guess another question is, because everybody was hoping.
Web abuser, you're doing your name all honor once again. Because they didn't pull off the cool kids, I guess. Yeah. You know, the other ones, I didn't like them. And then we needed a good reason to excommunicate them. You know, literally the same reason because what everyone else did, you know. Hey, it's fine if we do it, but if you do it, fuck you.
For Vigil to cut V off, did any of you do anything to make sure that would happen?
I don't know if anyone else did. All I did personally was tell V I didn't want to hear about anything V was getting up to.
I'm sobbing.
Wait, you told V?
Wait. You know, I told him I don't want to know what the pedophile is up to that you're still friends with. Did I understand that right? Wait.
So you told V?
Wait.
Just tell V I didn't want to hear about anything V was getting up to.
I'm sobbing.
Wait, you told
I'm sobbing. I'm literally sobbing right now.
V this, or you told Vigil this?
Vigil, sorry.
Okay.
So I told the person who was friends with the pedophile that I don't want to know what the pedophile is up to, you know? As one does.
So,
not a big deal. Not a big deal. It happens.
So, okay. Your response to Vigil. Because if you wanted Vigil to cut V off, you were doing an atrocious job of showing it. You told him it was okay 2 months after the allegations to stick around him. And never, at any point, let him know that you weren't okay with it all of a sudden. Like, this wasn't even an, oh, are you okay with me?
Oh. I will totally butcher your name. Sihiabas? I was friends with V Omega and cut him off when it was revealed that he was a groomer. That's when I left the CC. So you did the right thing. Unlike most of these fuckers. What could possibly go wrong? Nothing ever goes wrong. I can't keep the names straight. Listen, both names start with a V, okay? Told you, dude, derogatory.
Defending it. You guys actively, including you, actively supported this friendship. So I don't want to buy this fucking grace period shit, because I would buy this grace period shit if it was, something where it's like you made it very clear that you did not approve or something like that. Or at the very least, if you had gone back at some point to tell him,
Chat is derogatory gaze. No, my chat is a loving gaze. Listen, other people, derogatory gaze.
hey, it's been a while. These allegations have they still remain pretty solid. You should cut V off, or we're going to cut you off. And instead of doing something like that, you encourage him, and then you say nothing, and then a year and a half.
Gee, what am I supposed to say when a friend of mine is still friends with a predator? Jesus.
Later,
V tried to threaten me with exile for making fun of that bitch. He was. And you can call me Courtney. Ah. Are you calling the grooming victim a bitch? Damn. That's rough.
he implies he might have cut V off.
Might have. Is this the screenshot where you reply, "Oh, this is 2 months after the allegations," or is it the other screenshot?
When he implies he might have
Gee,
cut
was it 2 months after the allegations? Like, how should I have made up my mind 2 months after the allegations? Come on now.
V off is a different conversation I will put inside chat about Spocter. Because Vigil was all
What do you mean? Ula is a definitely good name. That's normal. I can remember and I can actually spell out.
I would never go to the defense of my friend. Sure, I would do it at first, but I would never do it prolonged. That does have an implication that he cut V off. But that was a year and a half.
I gotta go, gonna sleep for work tomorrow. Hopefully Mr. A won't backtrack of what he say. Also, hopefully he won't find out more people knew that... we will probably find out that a lot of more people knew. I'm sorry to crash that hope for you. Have a good night, Silver Crow. I know the victim, and he... a piece of shit who poked fun at me, played the victim, made fun of him and his boyfriend. Good night. Good luck at work, Silver. Yes. Good luck at work, Silver. Have a good night.
After these interactions.
I also want to point out the 2 months later conversation. Not only is that Vigil saying that V is still hanging out with him in some form or another, it's V interacting with Autumn, who wasn't in the community at the time, but was still associated for a while. He still clearly had some idea of the ongoings because he knew that Vigil, or that Autumn had been blocked by Vigil. Or, no, vice versa. Vigil had been blocked by Autumn.
They can keep the names apart.
Alright, I'm gonna stop you right there. The community was keeping tabs on what V was up to because, obviously, we didn't want V to go and hurt somebody else, okay? So there were people that were keeping tabs on what he was getting up to.
Okay.
I was not personally one of those people, but I understand that was something that was happening at the time.
Okay, was it ever asked how these people were keeping tabs on V?
Did he private his Twitter?
I don't know.
If not, then it's as easy as just going to that and looking.
Okay, so you assume
Nah, you're asking too much already.
Any updates regarding V's behavior were from somebody looking at his social media accounts, basically.
Gonna hop out for a while. Have a good rest of the stream. Thanks, Feature Willow. Have a good day. Thanks for stopping by.
For a lot of that, yeah.
Okay.
V came out and added Autumn. He actually did that. Yes, he didn't have to, but he did.
Yeah, that's why I'm really confused about this particular screenshot, because this doesn't communicate to me that Vigil was still in contact with V. It communicates to me, oh, something happened on social media, and Vigil saw that and told people about it.
How would V know that Vigil blocked Autumn?
I wouldn't even. Probably because they told him. Gee.
Did Vigil post about it publicly?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
So mic change for the OBS recording. I switched the input device.
It's always amnesia.
So, did you think about that, or did that just not even cross your mind?
No, it didn't cross my mind, and I've been
Listen, I can't do the thinky thing, and I don't remember. I have amnesia.
to understand numerous times at this
Everyone else said it's fine. How was I supposed to know it wasn't fine? Come on now. I go with the flow.
point that is an issue of mine that I've been needing to work on, and have been trying to work on since Cloak and Dagger.
Well, did it work? Can't do the thinky think. It's hard for some people, okay? It's very hard, you know? You need more than one brain cell and then you need to rub them together. Hard time, hard time.
So, to recap, you were told of Vigil's friendship with V had an indefinite grace period.
Just say right away that it's fine if you're still on their side. Indefinite grace period is bullshit.
And that you don't even fucking know how long it would have been. And a year
That's pretty much just saying it's fine. Don't care.
passes before
And
any
again, we have Doodle's little tweety tweet. Let me see. I can pull it up really quick. Where's the tweety tweet? There it is. Just a funny little reminder. Oh yeah, I would never say anyone cannot be friends with those I don't like or those I see as problematic. I mean, fuck, I still talk to George Raccoon on occasion. I would be a hypocrite if I said you couldn't be chill with V. So, it's fine if you wanna be besties with a predator. So come on now. Very much accepted there.
implication that V cut Vigil off, or vice versa. And in that year and a half, you admit to
Big thinky think there.
you've admitted to us that you have
Quite the interesting take, I know, right?
done fuck or shit to do anything about it.
Listen, it was the culture.
Am I missing anything?
Well, what would I have done? Okay, let me...
We demonized people that were friends with Ray, though, Suzy. Probably because Suzy didn't like them. Listen, it's fine if you want to stay friends with this one pedophile.
When Vigil had gone around saying, hey, I don't want to talk about this, I read that as, hey, maybe it's a sore spot for him that his friend got out as a groomer, therefore he wouldn't want to talk.
Listen, I know my friend just got outed as a pedophile. It's kind of sensitive topic for me, okay? We're still friends, though. It's fine.
Talk about it.
No, I'm not accepting that. You were told.
No,
You were told.
Of course you don't want to.
Let me.
Of course you don't want to accept.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, because that's a stupid take.
Okay,
guys.
Can I?
Guys.
I have a bit of a different way to explain this. So, Mr. A, imagine a dog shits on your carpet, okay? What do you do?
Imagine a dog shits on the carpet, you know? You know, do you just put some paper over it, or do you take it out?
The logical answer would be to
I love the hypotheticals.
clean that up.
Well, what do you do to make sure the dog does?
Hey Marilyn, what I miss, I had to help find something in my boyfriend and two dishes. Much of stupid stuff. A lot of stupid stuff. Mr. A is someone who was also in the Cloud Palace, and also someone who knew about Vigil's friendship with V. And we just looked at Suzy's tweet again, where she was like, hey, I don't mind if people are still friends with the groomer pedophile. It's fine, you know? And yeah. And he was just like, oh, you know, I didn't want to ask Vigil. I was like, Vigil, please don't tell me any information about your pedophile friends. But we're still fine. Back, love you guys. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Love you too, Spammy.
Doesn't do it again.
Train them, not have the carpet. I don't know.
What do you do so your dog doesn't shit on the carpet again? I throw out the carpet.
You tell them, bad dog, don't do that again. Now, dogs can't tell you that they dislike being told.
I don't think the dog understands what you're saying. You need to train them. No, not pissing on your hypothetical there, but I don't think that's how it works.
That, but I think it's easy to assume they do.
Someone's never trained a dog. No, Saint, you just need to gently tell them. No, bad dog, don't do this again.
That should have no impact if you are condemning someone for actually abhorrent behavior. Am I making sense to you, Mr. A?
Need to walk the dog so it doesn't need to do its business inside. I love their hypotheticals.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
What's frustrating?
Listen, we're getting anal about the theoretical right now. Let's not think about it too much, you know?
Me is that you guys know how I feel about it.
Don't ask what's going on with the drawing, Fiery. We don't ask questions. We just accept.
Now, right? So like, you know what, never mind. You probably know where I'm going with that. I'm just, never mind.
Well, I want to be absolutely clear, Mr. A. I don't think you agree with...
I somehow love how they call him just Mr. A. Well, let's be clear here, Mr. A. I don't know why, it cracks me up when someone has like a Mr. name. Or Madame. And then they use this in their conversation.
Your past actions, if that's what you're trying to imply. What I do believe is... What I do believe is that this is a error that you need to be that needs to be talked about on some level with you. Like, that's the only thing I believe. I'm not saying you currently agree with this.
But you agreed with it for too long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whatever you say.
And the fact I don't have the best memory about it and leads to, you know, life.
Don't ask question about the tits, X. Oh, I don't have the best memory. My memory. Amnesia. I have Alzheimer's. I'm so sorry. All the poor people in the SCC get Alzheimer's so young. That needs to be studied.
Insinuating I'm lying about things.
Skill issue.
Okay.
I'm going to be upfront with you. I think you are.
Skill issue, bruh.
I don't have the best. I know people hate hearing, you know, memory issues, but like the best I can do regarding something that happened 5 stinking years
There must be some kind of pandemic that's going on there, that amnesia and Alzheimer's is so widespread.
ago is recall like vague things, not specifics.
How did Cloak and Dagger how did Cloak and Dagger not like cause a memory trigger and be like, huh? Maybe I did.
Where are your memory triggers?
Best.
I had thought about that for weeks after Cloak and Dagger, and that conversation never came up in my mind. It was definitely on my mind.
Listen, it was on my mind, but I couldn't remember. I forgot.
Me thinking about how much I actually knew. But that conversation did not come to memory.
Well, okay, Mr. A, the problem isn't, like, the conversation in particular. It's you didn't realize you knew any of this? Like, have you mentioned that you were aware in some vague sense for quite a while afterwards? Have you given, even if not a specific time frame, at least a general one?
I don't.
Now, as someone with mildly concerning short-term memory, that's a crazy excuse. I still unlock my shit and talk through it if I don't remember it. Yeah, Listen, but for some people, don't remember it, don't happen. Hey, pizza! Egg. You are the egg.
I was struggling with the idea of how much did I actually know. And I ended up drawing, like, my conclusion was I didn't know enough to say that I definitively did or not, when it would have been relevant.
Did you look?
Nah. Why would I look at that?
No, I don't think I perused Cloud Palace for any conversations I had with
Listen, I would never think about what I knew.
Vigil about it. No.
Because I found it in minutes. I wasn't even searching for anything you specifically said. I searched Vigil friends, and I found it.
Well, that's not something I thought to do.
But wait.
I'm sorry.
You're offering eggs in this economy? Listen, we still have them eggs cheap, okay? I can be your egg dealer.
Wait, so you put all this effort into thinking about it, but like you never went back and researched it? I don't
Listen, I just lay in bed at night. Couldn't sleep, so I stared at the wall and was thinking about it. Why would I look it up? Why would I look up at my own conversations?
your line of reasoning here, Mr. A.
Well, I figure a big part of that would be I don't remember me
Get a chicken, it's cheaper. Listen, I have it even better. Our neighbor has chickens.
saying that I was
Just punches chicken, stupid. It's like a vending machine. You punch it and the X comes out.
okay with Vigil staying in contact with V.
But you were...
I don't remember saying
I was okay if, you know, we're just standing in contact with me. It's fine.
that, so...
But you were, like, really worried that you had. Wouldn't you go back and double check?
I come through my
Don't ask questions, spare me.
DMs with Vigil, but beyond that, no, I didn't look.
We just look and accept. We don't ask questions. Nothing surprises me anymore, listen.
Okay, so you did make some attempt to look, you just looked in the wrong place.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Listen, why would I look at the right places? I can look at all the wrong places and be like, oh, I didn't find shit.
Hey, that's a bit more understandable. In my view, I don't know, Light, what do you think?
I can understand that. Like,
Actually, Mr.
I'm still not happy. But, like, that part, yeah, I
don't think Ephraim is a girl, I think it's a cat boy. Listen, he shouldn't have a stubble then, he should have whiskers.
can gather. I can understand that.
Actually, Mr. A, can you export your DMs with Vigil?
I'll need to
Spare me, it's fine, I was joking. Don't feel bad. We are the mean ones.
see if I can.
Okay.
I'm a little...
Look at web abuser, okay? You're harmless.
I'm a little hesitant too on the basis of there were some inappropriate things
Oh, you know, there were some inappropriate things.
that were discussed a handful of times,
Just a handful of times.
Like YouTube.
like adult things.
Okay, Mr. A, I don't care about that personally. Anyone here who...
Stop apologizing, spare me. It's fine, please. God, I love you, spare me.
I've looked through the exports of can confirm I don't care about that. But
Yeah,
if you don't feel uncomfortable with that, then what we could also do is we could also just have you screen share while you search certain words. That would also be okay.
No, then you would see all the time I look bad.
Just want to see.
Alright, I'll need to see if I can... Let's see if I can...
What do you mean, dude? I'm just a small bean, flavored with hate. All the hate, web abuse. Stop crying, spammy.
pull it up. I removed Vigil as a contact a long time ago, but I'll try and see if I can pull up those.
Have you blocked him? Have you blocked him?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I blocked him, yes.
So he'll be on your
No, pretty sure.
block list, and you'll be able to find him through that.
Yeah, I was about to say.
What do you mean I'm pretty sure I blocked him? Just look, man. God.
Worst case scenario, I have his tag. What you can do is add DM immediately on add.
But Pizza came in here and started the egg apocalypse, I swear to God.
And you won't even see it because you'll take seconds.
Alright, I managed to pull up the DMs.
Okay, now can you share your screen, Mr. Hay?
I will. Can you screen share on mobile?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
If there's a little if you'll notice at like the bottom of the thing when you like click into the call proper, there's like a little toolbar with like the hang up, the mute, the controller, the side
You know what? The most basic thing now would be if he hangs up and is like, oops, misclicked.
chat.
Oh no, I can't re-enter the call. Oh no, my phone broke. Oh no, my whole internet deleted itself.
If you pull it up, you should be able to see an option just below where soundboard would be, where it says share your screen.
There's a soundboard.
Yeah, I see it. Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay. So.
Alright, my
what-
connection's probably gonna go down the crapper.
I'm going through a tunnel. Oh no! And never comes back, and everything gets suddenly deleted.
While I'm broadcasting this, but
By the way, Light, is your screen share picking up Mr. A, or your recording picking up Mr. A's screen share?
I can make it do that if you would like.
Okay, I'd recommend you do so, because
Alright,
I can only record audio. So, Mr. A,
okay,
I want you...
wait. Before, give me a second. I would like to get my recorder. Yes, that works. Let me just make sure the audio is not double picking up. It is
Oh, god damn it.
muted. Yeah, okay, start speaking.
okay.
Alright,
Hello.
perfect.
Hello.
I thought
Alright.
those were the Zoomers. You need Minecraft zip noises when the energy drink appears. Eating Q-tips to this call right now. Don't eat the Q-tips. Don't do it. Spare me.
You can look through now.
Okay, so Mr. A, I want you to search for V.
The
Cotton candy Q-tips, you know what that would actually be based? Like when back then, I think it's also still in stores, we had like this edible paper.
search the
No mention?
Nothing.
Do
Okay.
friends?
Oh, no mentions of V anywhere, that's crazy.
and
Right, check friends.
Bruh.
check friends.
No, as in, so,
God damn it, this retard, eh? I think he literally searched check friends.
friends.
Search
Oh,
Search the word
friends,
friends.
Mr. A.
God, I hate it here.
Okay, I still don't mind having you, so I don't... Mr. A, when was the last time you DM'd Vigil?
I heard picking peanuts are edible, no idea though. They are indeed, but they don't taste very good. Wouldn't recommend.
Several years ago.
Okay,
2 years.
Cloak
like-
and Dagger was longer ago than I remembered. I saw 2 years ago
What? It wasn't that long ago. The fuck you talking about?
and was like, wait, didn't...
Yeah, Cloak.
Suddenly the Discord user doesn't know to use Discord. Many such cases, many such cases.
Cloak and Dagger was like when Vigil had removed everybody. It was
We keep scrolling for a little bit.
Yeah,
pre Cloak and Dagger was the last time I actually spoke with him.
okay.
Because I don't want my friends. My close friends would only be the exception.
Hi Cloudy! Hello my beloved wife! How are ya?
I know them both, but I have both. The reason I'd suggest you so. Well, I'm moving in close of. Okay.
More pain indeed.
Me and another friend. I'm gonna move back to America living with 2 close friends. You want to know who else I got friendly with that had a negative thing for the SCC? Can you pull that one up for me and let me see the context around it?
Okay.
Okay.
Undead me. Oh, I don't care.
Okay.
I so don't care.
Okay.
I definitely remember she and I were friendly at some point. Okay, time with friends. Yeah, you can scroll that one.
Oh my god.
No, I said past that one. You don't have to show us that.
I had therapy. What did I miss? Why do you come here right after therapy? You need to get back in after this. We now see people struggling with Discord. Literally struggling.
Okay.
Wait, what's that? He's done some fucked thing.
Oh, eons. He done fucked up and I'll even admit it. But I'm just not gonna leave him. He's still someone I consider a friend, but that's just me. Sorry if I...
Things up, but I'll even admit it, but I'm just not going to leave him. Yeah, that looks like V. Click on that, make sure.
Yeah, so start scrolling up. But has it...
Oh, man.
Oh, this about...
Okay. Huh.
Wait, scroll a little bit higher.
Okay.
This
No, that's down. Please stop. What are you doing?
looks like... I just scroll a little bit higher.
Okay.
Up. I'll let you know.
Go to therapy to feel better and then now back to hell so I can go back to therapy. It would feel so whenever someone in chat tells me, hey dude, just coming back from therapy. What you doing? Oh my god, what is happening?
Let me know when the conversation starts. And then we'll read.
My grandpa has better technology than these fucks. Yeah, quite fitting, quite fitting.
Okay. I want to commission an artist for a potential project, but they found out who I'm still friends with. You know, that's V. Did you know that was V? Because he calls V you know who in the Cloud Palace a lot too.
Therapist needs to buy X2, you know what? Very true, very true. Now he broke. You broke him.
Yes, I think I knew that was him. I asked him when the last time they spoke to each other was. Didn't get an answer from him.
So I decided to drop the topic.
Knew in 2022 as well. He reaffirmed it to you. Nephron, do we even need to keep going
Oh,
at this
Spammy is learning things.
stage?
I mean, I guess I would still like him to export the rest of them, but no, I don't really think so.
I don't believe...
You think this person knows how to export something? I'm sorry, but they barely knew how to actually search up something, so I don't know if they actually managed to export something. So,
I saw the
How did you miss
skill
that?
in that. I don't know.
You clearly weren't looking thoroughly. I didn't even know what the fuck your DMs looked like. I asked you, hey, few words, and you did it. What was your looking through Vigel's DMs even like? What did you do?
I scrolled through them specifically looking for the...
oh, I stumbled the search thing by accident. Come on. Judging.
Mega, like his name being mentioned.
So did you know that you know who was V? Because you just said you did, didn't you?
Cloudy, don't ask questions. Don't ask questions.
At this point, I don't
This
even
is amazing art, okay? I quite like it.
know if I originally read that message correctly, but I did ask him, and he didn't give me
You are
an
forgiven, babe. I could never be mad at you.
answer.
Well,
So you clearly know that this is somebody problematic, and who the fuck else was Vigil friends with other than V? Because you already knew from V beforehand. And this is you being told after he implies that he cut them off after Spock to her.
Yeah, it's on me for not drawing that connection.
Yeah, you know what? That's on me. That's on me. No. I didn't do the think. The thinky think. It hurts me.
but
So in this case, you knew for a year. And if you want to extend it all the way back, at the best for you, you knew up until 2021.
I love that every time some drama happens in the SCC, you know, in commentary, it's usually like, oh, people knew for a few months or something, or a drama lasts for some months. In the SCC or ACC, it's always a year at least. The FCK probably was the longest, with over 5 years people knowing and trying to hide it. Other times it was like 2 years, and then here we are again. At least a year.
At the absolute worst, you knew for 3 years. Anything to say for yourself?
Nothing that would make this any
Can I
better.
chime in for a second?
Yeah, you can chime in.
Yeah.
So question. So you knew that long. Where the hell were you doing Cloak and Dagger? Back when we were
Trying to figure out how much I knew.
I don't know, I was trying to figure out I needed to do a mind map. So we should all assume everyone knows. Not everyone, but people who were in Cloud Palace, who were all around for these conversations, let's be real, probably knew. Especially those in commentary at this time.
I am
I'm figuring out
so
for myself.
sick and tired of people having known about this for years. Am I?
Don't do that, that's cringe. For years! For years! They knew for years!
not gonna get a break? Am I? I'm gonna mute. Oh.
Well,
Oof.
Mr. A, apparently you didn't look all that thoroughly, given we figured out you knew more than you realized in the 20-minute or the 30 minutes we've been having this call.
Mm-hmm.
He took, what, like, we didn't even know what your DMs looked like with Vigil. You opened screen sharing in, like, what, 5 to 10 minutes peak. We find out that you, Sir Mr. A, knew about
So, Mr. A.
Vigil for 3 years.
God
and
damn
had
it, it's been 3 years. I wanna become a commentator, you know, I talk about my interests. Just only have Windows Movie Maker. Listen, all you need is OBS. Listen, and you can also do it with Windows Movie Maker, it's fine. You can do the homey ones.
reaffirmed to you at least 3 times. I know I said it earlier.
The ACC rivals the CIA in terms of keeping secrets for a certain amount of time. Yeah, true.
And I know you got pissed at me for saying it, but I think you're lying. Dead ass.
Dead ass.
Well,
You can believe that all you want.
Listen, you can believe that I'm a liar, that's fine.
I don't even think... May I speak for a second?
No.
of course.
Thank you. I don't even think that, like, it's not even a if you believe. We can clearly see what's right in front of us.
I don't see it.
Well, Mr. A, the only other explanation
Who is ass and why is he dead? I don't know. Happened a long time ago, we don't talk about him.
is cartoonish incompetence on your part.
Yeah.
And we'd like to
That-
think you're smarter than that.
That's very that's very generous. You shouldn't.
Unfortunately, I am not, and that's what makes
Unfortunately, I am indeed a retard.
it very clear, especially recently.
No, Mr. A, I know you're smarter than that. I just
No, let me act stupid. That's always also what I do at work, so they don't expect too much of me. Hate when they expect something of me.
blatantly know you are smarter than this. So, anyone have any closing comments to Mr. A here?
Well, I think, truly, and Johnny, you can chime in and say what you want from Mr.
Who's Johnny?
A, if you would like.
Is that
But
the one with the wizard voice?
I think you remember what happened to Mav, Doll, Dippy, Neko Shadows?
You know what? Hating doodletones is very fair. I also hated doodletones for quite a while.
I know.
I think we should join them.
Well, according to their own standards, that would only be fair.
I'm of that opinion too.
Doesn't matter.
I don't feel happy saying this. I have to agree. I'm just. I know I left the commentary community for a while because of tons of shit I wasn't liked. You all saw what I went through. Nobody give a shit.
I feel like everyone gets stupid when people get to this point, bro. True, very true. Doodletones killed ass. You know what? Fair. You know what? I say it's true. I have no evidence, but I think it is so.
Shit. Because I'm starting to wonder how many people actually did. I'm done.
Oh.
My closing comment is just, dog, I'm gonna put it to you in the most blunt way possible.
Like you haven't already.
I haven't already. Wait, let me pop. Just a little bit.
Get the fuck out.
And don't forget to give you the
Fuck off.
from.
Doesn't it all matter? You know, the efforts I've made post Cloak and Dagger to correct those behaviors.
Oh my god, I put so much effort in it by never talking about it again.
Yeah. Where's Mav?
Yeah,
Where's Mav? Where's...
I don't know what Mav is.
Not in the community, that's where.
Mr. A, I want to be absolutely clear. I'm not dismissing those efforts. I'm saying you can go do that somewhere else. Okay? You can go be better somewhere else for all I care. Anyone have an issue with
I'm not even gonna deny. Hold on. I'm not gonna deny the efforts you made. I'm just upset because we literally had a whole entire Cloak and Dagger thing. I know I mentioned this already. But you've been sitting on this, and if you had just said something.
Mr. A sounds like a mob. that would be a mob boss no one takes serious, okay?
Remember.
Or do you just mean the name, Mr. A? You know, Mr. A is a cool name on itself, you know? Generally, most name with Mr. and just a letter.
I can only take the whole entire not remembering so far.
Okay, you weren't here when I said this, but I did, in fact, go through my DMs with Vigil.
Not fucking well enough!
Not clear enough.
We found it in 5 minutes!
I made the effort.
I made the efforts. I made the effort, you know, you all might have looked for 5 minutes. I only had 2, okay?
I don't care!
I didn't...
Effort can only go so far.
Yeah, you can say something, Zaf, unless, like, Ephraim or Button or Lucy has...
I don't object.
Make it quick. Just make it quick. I don't want us to all be screaming at him for the rest of the night.
Oh, no. You want to, you just... No, it is bad luck. Come on. But one thing is another thing. Mr. Ace Big G.
I'm not going to be screaming. I just want to speak for both because I know she's not here. It's just very funny to me that this is the bullshit you're pulling as you're going in the raid dog talking about retribution against Autumn for the OK commentator comment. You do all of this behind the scenes while you talk about retribution. Get over yourself and stop with the fucking self-pity. Just fucking grow up.
No. They can't stop with the self-pity. Every single one who ever gets called out suffers in self-pity and has to trauma dump. Come on now. And talk about their brain damage.
I'm done.
Okay. So, Mr. A, give me those DMs you had with Vigil. I'd recommend doing that. Is that something that you agreed to do, or did I?
He sounds so insecure while asking, show him, you will give me those DMs. If you agree to, no, please. Oh no.
I can export those from my phone, correct?
Alright, and Ephraim, if anything is relevant, please don't give me the shit that they did, like, other than the very relevant stuff.
I have
no... Don't give me shit, Ephraim. Don't give me shit.
No, obviously.
In revealing anything in those DMs outside of the relevant stuff. I want to be absolutely clear. I do not care about anything else.
Okay, so Mr. A, for the crime of being a fucking Cloak and Dagger fucking piece of shit,
Don't be cringe. Don't be cringe, please. Please, no. I've been through so much cringe, please. For the past 2 days, please. Don't do it to me on my 3rd day.
Get lost.
The verdict is guilty. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, so I guess this is... Do we want to at least...
Can you just kick a bit?
Well, no, I was going to ask,
Yeah.
do we want to keep him here as he exports, or do we...
I believe I can...
Guys, you should have talked about this before slinging those phrases around. Pro tip.
I'll at least
I don't
remove
know.
the 18+ rule.
Okay.
Ooh, getting demoted to minor.
You are being demoted to minor by choice.
Okay,
But-
okay. Well, outside of that, and Mr. A, you can stop sharing your screen now, by the way.
Yes, you can close it.
Besides that, Mr. A, you're dismissed.
Oh, dismissed.
Bye.
Get the fuck out.
Who's the bitch? Come on, I stopped
Y'all
recording.
can quite frankly fuck right off.
You should get to the insults after you got what you want from him. Just saying. Usually that doesn't really get you where you want.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, it's understandable, but you know. The Discord rule they have, apparently they have the Discord rule 18.
I agree. Bye. Go away.
Okay, wait.
Ban?
Okay.
Ban? Can I ban?
All right. One thing.
Okay. So there was when the screen goes black after Mr. A leaves the call, there's nothing else. After the video just rendered fucky. Yeah. While I agree that Mr. A pretty much did the same thing the other people said that got excommunicated from the community, that was cringe. Kinda cringe there. But that means we have enough time to also watch the doodletones George Raccoon video as a special. No, as a special end of doodletones finale. So let's get into that so we get some last cringe in. Yeah, no bite out of my eyes. Yeah. They didn't cut that part of the video out, the part where they blacked out with nothing, no. The A in Mr. A stood for awesome, how ironic. Oh. And welcome danger, hello. Oh, that's painful. Anyway, let's move on to the re-upload of the George Raccoon video, so we can see how Doodletones handles grooming cases, you know? Just for good old memory's sake. After I already talked about it for so much in this last 2 days. Now we will finally see. Sorry, I was on the phone, what I miss. Cringe.
Terrifies me. Before you jump to a conclusion, please.
You're back just in time, Ula. We have moved on to the Doodletones George Raccoon video.
Hear me out. October 6th, 2019, the slideshow commentary community was hit with a
Charlie Boo Gray, important Google Girl and threat incoming, trigger warning, pedophilia and grooming. Raccoon Man 900 is a pedophile. He groomed my close friend Leo, who was 16. This doc tells the whole story and provides screenshots of this behavior. Leo's main Twitter got suspended a little while ago, and he hasn't made another one, so I'm publishing this in his stead. George Raccoon is a creep who targeted a minor. Stay far the fuck away from him.
document posted by user Channel Gray, written by an ex-user Leo or whatever, detailing their experience talking
Oh, no, I'm not sitting through this video again. I got chores to do, so I'm praying for your brain cells later. Understandable, Ula. Take care.
with ex-commentator George Raccoon. This experience, explaining how they felt groomed by George, was the first time in recent memory that
Already quite interesting phrasing there. They felt groomed.
the SCC ever dealt with an expose in a typical cancel culture way. In retort,
Not the cancel culture way.
instead of defending himself, George left the internet, presumably admitting
Okay, wait. Wait, Google Doodles. Let's look at this message here in the background. I deleted my YouTube account, deleted my Twitter. I protected my Twitter because I felt people don't want to look at it. And upon my mom's request, I took down the major accounts. Upon your mom's request? What? However, I realize now that some will see this as me running away from my responsibility. Even when some want me to withdraw from the internet entirely. Or Charlie telling me to do chemical castration. I'm not happy at myself for what I have caused. There's no defending myself. And there's no point in beating myself up about it. Even when it's really hard not to. The intention I had in my mind between me and Leo was that I shared the videos because it looked like he was liking them. Oh. I didn't know that something was wrong with it, what I was doing, until it was too late. Oh yeah, when you shared the videos of your very specific kink with Leo, you mean. There's no going back to fixing it. What happened, happened. It's not good for me to shrug off something as big as that. What I did was what I did wrong? Absolutely. And I have a lot to learn from all of this. I know now to not share my not safe for work stuff with a minor. That's so great. And to be a lot more considerate about how they feel. Yeah, sorry you feel groomed. When I was sending him videos and stuff about him in a dress, I wasn't thinking about fucking Leo or doing anything sexual with him. This is the part it's the trickiest to word myself, as I'm walking on eggshells as I'm typing this to explain myself. I didn't react very well after I first apologized to Leo. I started to feel extremely guilty of hurting him, and made things worse by changing my vent name bio and writing a tweet that ended with goodbye. Some told me before that could come off as manipulative, and ended up making him feel worse in doing so. So they pretty much assumed, yeah, I did it. I shared stuff I shouldn't have with minors, yeah.
To his guilt, depending on who you ask. To most people in this community, that was the end of it. George fucked off.
Yeah, and he admitted to it.
Later, that the SCC ever dealt with an expose in a typical cancel culture way. In retort, instead of defending himself, George left the internet, presumably—
Yeah, he admitted to it.
Admitting to his guilt, depending on who you ask. To most people in this community, that was the end of it. George fucked off, the groomer was gone, and Leo was deemed a hero. However, I wasn't happy, because I didn't believe—
You know, and the victim was deemed a hero, how dare.
George groomed Leo. I initially tried voicing this belief on a live stream when tensions were high, and botched it all up. I put way too much of an onus on Leo, who—
Yeah, so he said he was a pedo, but
I believed they were groomed, which to everyone else looked like I was blatantly—
Yeah, you know, he believed he was groomed, you know.
victim blaming, which was understandable.
Yes, very understandable, and that's where the video ended.
I took
Then you would have won.
the massive L and apologized for it, and then stayed silent about it publicly
I apologized for it, so anyway, I spent 2 years in thinking about how I can turn this around.
until fairly recently, when I started getting tired of hearing how someone who I didn't believe was a groomer was falsely labeled as such. So now, I finally want to talk about it when everyone else has moved on. So, content warning, I guess. It's right there in black and white. This video—
Yeah, this is 2 years after George Raccoon was called out, so we'll spend like 2 years like, yeah, how do I get them back? And the background already started getting people to think about, yeah, maybe he wasn't that bad, you know?
will heavily talk about grooming. I also want to warn for mentions of rape, manipulation, gaslighting, abuse. I think that's it. Right. Pedophilia too. Okay.
Yeah, pedophilia or something.
We're good. So, to begin this structural disaster of a video, I guess let's break down what the accusations themselves are. Mind you, the way that I'm wording these is just what the accusations are. Obviously, I'll be spending the rest of the duration of this video—
Not to be that guy, but I bet the reason they didn't take Leo seriously is because he is, well, a he. Yeah. Doodletones, die hat immer recht. Doodletones, die hat immer recht.
video detailing which ones are accurate and which ones definitely needed more evidence. But with that said—
Pedophilia too? Did they come out with a sequel? No. Pedophilia, the movie.
Accusations are that George, who was in his 20s, led an at-the-time minor on his NSFW-ish account. He would draw his friends, including said minor, in Snow White dresses, which were—
Yes! That is already fucking weird. Like, you tell me you wouldn't find it weird if you had a child or a little sibling, and there was an adult on the internet who was like, hey little boy, hey little girl, want me to draw you in dresses? I like Snow White dresses. Want to draw me in a Snow White dress? Totally not weird.
For a fetish of his, send pictures of himself wearing said dress to the minor. This was—
You know, this adult also sends pictures of himself in a dress to your little sister or little or child. Yeah, totally normal, right? Wouldn't they stay away from that creep?
him being sexual, would constantly pester the minor, who, should also mention at this point, was trans, into wearing said dress, which was uncomfortable for
Oh, and then asked the minor, in this case, to wear the dress and sent him a picture. Totally not weird, right?
them, came back to doing all this stuff after being confronted about it initially, sent videos of magic tricks to a minor, magic tricks being another fetish of his.
Bleh. I'm still not over magic tricks being a fetish of his. It's just like with the sneezing kink. Why does all of these people have weird kinks?
After Leo broke off the friendship with George, he had blown up in their DMs with a lot of concerning self-destructive messages, and blatantly admitted to grooming Leo. Wow, these accusations seem...
Yes. Wait.
Messages, and...
He didn't know it was an issue. He already admitted he messed up. And then he asked me what he could do to make it up, aside from not grooming me again. Hey, I know you feel like I groomed you, so how can I make it up to you? You know, aside from not grooming you again. Teehee.
Blatantly admitted to grooming Leo. Wow, these accusations seem rather damning, right? It's cut and dry.
Yes, Doodles. It's rather cut and dry, right? Right, Doodles? Why is there over 20 more minutes to this video?
Should be the end of it. Video over. George groomed Leo. Roll credits. Except this is when I scream in frustration at how quickly people were to believe these accusations, especially in 2019, a year after the spot.
Listen, I know he admitted to it and asked multiple minors and everything, but you know,
theory situation happened.
Especially after the Spock situation happened. Yeah, that aged like fine milk after the other thing, you know.
So let's go over what is and isn't true within this document, starting with something that is objectively true, because I do want to go into this as unbiased as humanly possible. I won't be
completely unbiased. I'm completely unbiased.
Able to go into it fully unbiased, of course, but, you know, I'll give it a fair chance. George did let Leo onto his NSFW-ish account.
Don't say not safe for work-ish. It's weird enough to be like, hey, little teenager. Want to go to my not safe for work account? Wanna see my porn? Wanna see my kinks?
So, to elaborate, as someone who also followed that account at the time...
Of course you do.
George had a specific account where he could share more adult themes to his friends who were more comfortable with it. There wasn't anything necessarily...
Yeah, if you share that with anyone, you should only share that with your fucking adult friends. Even though even I find that a little weird. I wouldn't be to my friends, hey, wanna see all the stuff I'm into?
Explicit ever posted on there. I want to...
Why does doodletones make very long videos, man? Like, bruh. It's 26 minutes, it's not that long. Goddamn, fiery, come on now. I know the ADHD is kicking in, but come on now.
Assure you, and this was detailed out the gate for anyone who followed that account, as the pinned tweet had...
Oh, we have a pinned tweet. Hello and welcome to my, oh god, they even call it a not safe for work-ish account. If you follow this account, then you have my trust. Shut up, Zoomer. In this account, I talk about things I don't normally talk about or share in any other circumstances. As such, here are some ground rules. Porn and nudity will not be retweeted on here, since I have no reaction to that. Them's the breaks, I'm afraid. Bunny suits are a fetish of mine and it pleases me a lot. Yeah, that's truly the account. George Raccoon thought, yeah, let me invite a fucking minor on this. Magic tricks and illusions, oddly enough, are a kink of mine, especially when it's a girl disappearing under a cloth. For the record, magic is something I hope to achieve in the future. Damn, he just wanted to be a wizard. Snow White drawings are plentiful here, although it's not a kink of mine. I just like doing them. Yeah, totally not a kink. Do not leak anything on here unless I say it's okay. Just refer to me as Kumiko when replying. This is all. And now, let the magic show begin. It's so cringe. George Raccoon. Chat, I'm here to explain why Drew was doing the switch to leaks. She was going to buy a...
This image directly connect to it. You may be noticing some other things on here that'll be important later, and don't worry, we'll come back to them. The important part of this image at the moment, though, is rule number 1. Porn and nudity will not be retweeted on here.
Yes, because he apparently doesn't have... ain't vanilla like that. but it's still the shit he's into and wants people to see it, okay? God damn it, rules.
So nothing that George shared directly was NSFW. So in that sense, he was fine. However, considering
No, it's not fine, doodles.
that he did label it as NSFW-ish, that's still arguably not exactly okay, and as someone who's kept in touch with him for all this time,
Doodles be like, hey, as long as it's not hardcore porn that you show the minors, it's fine.
yes, even he acknowledges in hindsight this was not okay. So sure, in that sense, George was irresponsible. Not to the
Who will be banished from the College of Winterhold. We will be cast out into the snow.
extent he should be ostracized and crucified for it, personally I'd argue, but definitely should have been informed that this was not okay. So with that out of the way, I would also like
You know
to
what? Someone should have told this grown-ass adults that it's not okay to share your not safe, your kink account with minors, you know? How was he supposed to know?
confirm something else explained in Leo's document, being that George did have a habit of self-destructing at the time, and I think just about everyone who was friends with
Listen,
him
think of the feelings of the groomer. What did he feel during that time? Come on now.
at the time had told him that this was a problem at some point. So him going into Leo's DMs in the screenshot
I always had this before,
we do
but
see towards
I seriously apologize for everything. I acted out with my own emotions, beating myself up and banging it all over here, and I ended up hurting you in the process. Sometimes whenever I feel depressed or upset, my own mind goes to heavy extremes with negativity, gets clouded with bad ideas. Even after we talked it out yesterday about the UFO account and how I wouldn't send you any more magic videos. Keep in mind, he just admitted that magic tricks are his kink. What does it mean when he sends the teenager magic videos? Just asking. Rub those brain cells together. In contrary to Doodles, I know you can. I feel responsible for affecting you so much.
the end of the document are kinda on brand. This is also something I'd argue shouldn't be a huge strike against George, though, as we don't see him doing it maliciously in the screenshots we
Guys, we don't see him do it maliciously. Hello, Wayne. Welcome to Pain.
get. In fact, everything that George says
I feel like I needed a break as well as since yesterday. Hopefully, when the time arrives, everything will be much better between the both of us. No. Since I'm probably going to be tweeting on this account about how I'm feeling, and maybe you on yours, perhaps we should unfollow each other too. For the time being. I agree. See you next time. Yeah, goodbye. No, don't see you next time.
in those screenshots are evidence more against the idea that
Want you to share that stuff with me. You're my friend and I love you and I just want to set the record straight. You deserve this much. Oh, I'm very sorry. I won't do it anymore. It was not my intent to make you feel uncomfortable and I apologize for that. I understand. Thank you for respecting my decision.
he was doing it to be purposely manipulative, as his messages say that he fucked
I understand that. Thank you for respecting my decision. You're welcome, Leo. Hugs. Ugh. 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 Hugs. I think I may just step away right now. I feel terrible for all I did to you. I need to stay away. Don't feel guilty. Just to be clear. Don't feel guilty for calling me out on being a weirdo.
up, and that Leo shouldn't feel bad or concerned
Oh my god, what is this wall of text? Don't do this to yourself. The last thing you want is to see you in pain. You wanted to look out for me. You are not there in the wrong for that. I'm sorry I made you panic. You didn't make me leave. I made myself leave. I messed up. Please don't feel bad. I'm sorry. What, at this point just sweet like, yes, feel bad for me. Feel bad for me. I am the poor victim.
about anything he was saying, trying to reassure Leo
I can't say I know what your intentions were, but sincerely want to believe it wasn't something bad. That said, I don't know if we should be talking. At least not for a while. A break would probably be the optimal right now. I don't know how long, but just me. Some time apart. Understand? I broke a friendship and it severely hurt this one. I feel like we needed a break as well since yesterday.
that they can move on.
I would respond to the wall with smiley thumbs up.
Did George have any reason to feel as such? Well, this is
George should have felt a reason to jump. Gay! And what are you, Leo? Fucking hetero!
why this video
Fucking
exists,
straight.
because I plan to make the argument that no, no, I don't think he should. Now, mind you,
No, I don't think we should. You know, I know he admitted to it, but he shouldn't.
Not an expert, I should get that out of the gate. I'm merely giving my thoughts and feelings on this 2-year-old situation, and why I disagreed with the common consensus. Whether or not you think I'm right or wrong by the end of it is entirely up to you. If your mind's made up, it's made up. I won't fight you on it. And as such, I want to stress to not
But I will fight for it 2 years after.
go out and harass the individuals involved in this situation, especially given what I have to say about the situation by the end of it all. 1, because, yeah, this drama is about 2 years old and most everyone has moved on.
And I did help with that in the background. George should have taken the room temperature challenge. Should have taken a long walk into the forest. A long walk. Along the cliffs.
2, nobody, no matter how heinous their actions are, deserves harassment, contrary to the popular belief.
Oh, no one deserves harassment, you know, aside from the people I don't like.
3, because harassing people is lame. Plain and simple. So now that I
Guys, harassing people is lame, in case you don't know.
have the formalities out of the way, let's begin with the first part of the grooming allegation, the Snow White dress. So, something to note about
My first picture was first.
George is that his favorite Disney princess is Snow White, and apparently in accordance to Leo, he and George would bond over their mutual appreciation for the character. Leo would allow George to draw their character wearing the dress of the titular character, and didn't see anything wrong with it until Gwen, another character in this story, informed Leo that the dress was a kink of George's, and that George was forbidden to
Yeah, gee, I don't know. With the number of times he sent pictures of himself in the dress was really annoying about wanting the minor to wear the dress, and was pretty much everyone in that dress in combination to his magic show kink. Gee, it's really a far stretch, you know. How do we know it was a kink? Such a question.
draw anything regarding Leo and her dress. But, hold on. George's aforementioned rules bulletin explicitly mentions that he doesn't see Snow White as
Listen, I agree that harassment is lame, but the fact is, Noodles and their friends did it to other people, so...
a kink of his. This was established on his NSFW-ish account from the beginning. So for Leo to sit there and believe something that was blatantly against that established descriptor feels kind of sketchy to me.
The fact that Disney Snow White is a minor does not help. I think that is more the middle part, because otherwise you could say, hey, people with a school uniform kink are also pedophiles. I think that would widen the net too wide.
Especially when Leo follows up explaining this to the reader that if you ask George about Snow White being a kink of his, he'd deny it, which always struck me.
Listen, he denied it's a kink. Yes, yes, doodletones. Just like you always denied having a diaper fetish.
It's strange to sit here and preemptively revoke any further discussion on this kind of topic by making such a blanket and certain statement claiming the subject to be a liar when the information they give doesn't match your own feels...
Listen, he said it wasn't his kink, so...
ironically enough, like a lie in of itself. The tone
Listen,
of
that's like me saying I'm not a monster fucker and then thirst over every monster I get shown.
this document is to inform or educate people on your own experiences with an individual you claim to have groomed you. But as much as it typically isn't what people want to hear, there usually is two sides.
I've seen George Raccoon's face and he looks like he smells like hot dogs. Somehow I immediately know what type of guy you mean.
To a story such as this. And without the proper evidence to prove that your opposition has a behavioral pattern with
Not those kind of monsters, drama.
lying or manipulation, this kind of claim feels more like its sole purpose is to shine a much more malicious light on your target instead of giving out the truth. Or at the very least, a believable testimony, which isn't something you would want to do if your goal is to educate people on a groomer in the community. But to me, it doesn't have to be a straight-up sexual thing, because it is clearly...
Guys, maybe it's not straight-up sexual, so it's fine, you know?
something he finds appealing.
He just finds it appealing. Why would he share something with a minor he finds appealing?
Directly respond to this, because I find it to be frustrating. This claim would only be valid if we were to be under the pre-notion that George's appreciation for
Listen, I don't have a diaper king, so it's fine if I ask. According to Doodle's logic. Listen, they may have a diaper fetish. They claim they don't have a diaper fetish, so it would be fine if they asked minors for a picture of them in a diaper. That's pretty much the logic here.
White was sexual in nature, which, as I demonstrated, I don't have any reason to believe is the case, and with that, George could find this dress to be an aesthetic appeal, or maybe an appeal
It's just the aesthetic, guys. It's just the aesthetic.
Nostalgia, or literally any other appeal that you could look at that's used in art and advertising.
Yeah,
Appeal
that's why he pretty much harassed the miner about, hey, do you have the dress yet? Do you have the dress yet? Will you wear the dress for me?
doesn't have to be sexual. This is again unfortunate to this document because anyone who thinks about this for longer than a minute tops could come to the same.
And again, even if it wasn't a kink, which I don't believe, it's still very, very inappropriate to go to a miner as a grown-ass man, be like, here is a picture of me in the dress. Will you wear the cute little dress for me, child? I draw a picture of you in the dress. Oh, and I'm doing a magic trick with you. Look, I drew it. Still very, very, very inappropriate. I don't know what's so hard about that to get.
Conclusion. I like to draw hoodies on my characters that don't typically have them and call them cool jackets because they're fun and there's an appeal in drawing that.
Doodles, it's not the same and you know it.
That doesn't mean hoodies turn me on. Get real. Anyway, then Leo explains that Gwen chewed George out about it. George backed down.
Doodles, you know exactly that hoodies are not the same as the Snow White dress. Don't play more stupid than you are.
Drawing Leo in a Snow White dress. Probably intimidated by Gwen, if I'm to be honest. Though, of course, that would be something you'd have to ask the supposed groomer in this scenario. And then cut.
I love the passive-aggressive language in here. The supposed groomer, I guess. You have to ask the groomer what he feels about the situation. How did the groomer feel, though? Did anyone think about the feelings of the groomer?
2 years later, in 2019. George winds up drawing Leo in a Snow White dress twice. Leo goes on to make the theory that it's because by this point they didn't hang out with Gwen anymore, and George...
So he came back after 2 years and did it again. Literally waited for 2 years to be like, hey, can we talk again?
Quote-unquote, knew he wouldn't be called out about it. And I'm so glad Leo clarified it as such, because otherwise it would heavily look like a narrative was being spun to ruin someone, and we definitely wouldn't want that. But
yeah, we wouldn't want to be the creepy guy to get ousted.
Could we not make the argument that George just forgot about what happened 2 years prior? Leo doesn't clarify that there was any conversation regarding the two of them that would have reminded George of the conversation in question, so this is again, at best, just an assumption on Leo's end that paints George in a much different...
Listen, the miner just made a lot of assumption about the groomer. Okay, I was driving back, but I'm now... I need to crash out. Keep on, it'll be a minute. With Doodle's voice, definitely.
Light than what might have been the actual truth of the matter. Plus, Leo even tells us following this that George asked to draw the first piece for them. So even if he did remember...
Yes, asked to draw the first piece of them. And the miner said yes on the first part. Then George was asked to not draw them anymore because it's inappropriate. Then he waited for 2 years and then just drew them again. Yes, that is very inappropriate.
Maybe he wanted to see if the opinion on the matter changed from whatever Gwen might have talked to George about, since we also didn't get that side of the story, and was instead just told to get it through Gwen's at the time Twitter handle. Following this, there's an explanation of George's self-destructive behavior, before going on to justify that as the reason Leo
Guys,
said...
he was just being self-destructive. I'm a grown-ass man, and if you ask me to wear a dress, I'm going to side-eye you. If you keep asking me to wear the dress, I'm going to ignore you. If you then draw me in a dress, I'm going to prison. Will you wear a dress for me, Saint?
Yes to everything that George did. And it's here that I really start questioning matters, because throughout the entire document, there's not a whole lot of screenshots to help Leo's case, and Leo does explain that because George deleted...
you know what, the miner didn't have that's a lot of screenshots. We're supposed to be homies, and you wanna see me in a dress a certain way. Listen.
Everything, they didn't exactly have the time or...
The homies be wearing dresses together.
...ability to screen cap everything that they thought was important. And like, okay, I get that. But when the screenshots that you do share are just you happily nodding to everything and getting excited that...
so pretty. Yeah, because it's before they knew. I'm glad you really liked it.
George drew you in a Snow White dress while simultaneously telling us, the reader, that you were uncomfortable.
I cursed you with the artists in my chat. Oh, I love the artists in this community.
About it all. Then pardon me.
No, Saint, if it was my fetish, listen, you would be put in the man-whore top.
For looking at this whole situation skeptically. Did George know that these images made you uncomfortable? Did you tell him they did? Because even in accordance to your own document, that doesn't...
I'll even draw you slave squatting. Wait, that is a cursed sentence. Slav squatting. Okay. I was about to say that was a scary sentence.
Seem to be the case. You tell us that you said it was okay before going on your own...
There's a man-whore top? Yes, there's a man-whore top. Wait, I can show it. Kinda appropriate at this video, but you know what? Fuck it. Wait, let me look really quick. You will know what I mean when I show it. I promise. Really quick. I will be fast. Oh, I found it already. That's great. Let me just send it to my own Discord. Where do I send it to? I send it to Saint. I will show it on screen the next minute. I present to you the man-whore top. This is peak. I don't care what character you draw on this. This is peak. Peak, I say. The man-whore top.
Self-deprecating tirade about the fact that you were
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I own that. Saint! You are indeed a man-whore. Of course, Saint owns the fucking man-whore top.
Yourself to the dogs for your friends. And I'd even be able to give the benefit of doubt in saying that you could have felt uncomfortable about it all in hindsight, but then not only would that be a lie because you actively told us that your mind wandered to the aforementioned conversation with Gwen, but
yeah, someone mentioned, hey, I don't think this is as innocent as he says. And yeah, then you have the realization, oh shit, you know what, you're probably right. That is not that weird, Doodles. It's not that fucking weird.
Also, that's in hindsight.
Also, I'm not sorry, Saint.
To change the reaction we see in the screenshots that Leo gave us, that would have given...
But there's one with less fabric, the shoulder opening go way down. Yeah, there's also one with like a titty window. The man-whore top exists in many different styles.
George the idea that this was not only okay, but encouraged. Oh, but Doodle, are you trying to say that it's...
You know what? The minor encouraged to be drawn in a Snow White dress, so if you think about it, it's actually their fault. According to Doodles.
Leo's fault he was groomed? No, I'm saying this isn't grooming at all. A very common...
That's quite a stance, Doodles. The titty window is a workout shirt, shut up. Of course you own all the man-whore shirts, Saint, of course.
The tactic of grooming is testing the boundaries to figure out how you can push past them to get into a sexual context.
Yes, pushing the boundaries, you know, first start drawing them, and then in the magic trick, that is the the fucking kink. Yes, Doodles, this is literally testing the boundaries. Yes, Doodles, yes. And sending magic trick videos and see them not getting freaked out immediately and then coming back after 2 years after being told not to talk to them. Yes, Doodles, that is indeed boundary pushing.
For another
mansplain, manspread, man-whore. That is Saint. That is our Saint.
Example, and I apologize in advance for using an actual instance of grooming as an example. I'm aware of how tasteless this could come off, but I feel it's important to show that...
Yes, Doodles, it is indeed very tasteless.
It would look like had George actually been trying to groom Leo in a situation such as this, since our community actually has an example. So... let's talk about V Omega. V Omega was outed not even a full year after George's allegations by Joni Rue in a Twitlonger. This post outlined that V was an abusive, controlling, transphobic groomer, and I will happily concur to those labels. I'll be talking my experience with them in another video if it's not already out, because I'll have to.
Yeah, great. Another video, that's great, Doodles.
I'll leave a link below to the full Twitlonger if you wish to read up on it all, but the particular centerpiece that I want to look at, of course, is the grooming allegations. Though, while Joni didn't exactly have any screenshots relating to that particular allegation and was much more focused on V's abusive behavior, V sure as hell was willing to give them in a now deleted Twitter thread he was making responding to it all. Luckily, I have
George Raccoon admitted to it.
the important receipts. So, here's a screenshot that V took of their DMs from January of 2018. You can see here that V and Joni are talking about pornography, with Joni explicitly saying that she was not one to look at pornography.
Yes, Doodles, you can't really compare a magic trick kink to sending minors hardcore porn. That doesn't mean that this is now the standard. You know what? It's just a groomer if they send hardcore porn to the minor. Doodles, are you fucking retarded?
By April of the same year, the topic was brought up again, with Joni admitting to sometimes looking at specifically furry porn. By March of the next year, while we don't see the fullest extent of this screenshot, we can see that Joni was all for talking about pornography, showing that V's attempt to wear down her boundaries was, unfortunately, grossly successful. The fuck?
Again, Doodles. That's a very big difference, because in this case, George Raccoon is not into the furry porn, but into fucking magic tricks. Fuck you.
Fucking creep. But we don't see that with George. We're only told that through the lens of Leo, and even through that lens we can see that Leo never vocalized these feelings, so...
You know what, he didn't tell his groomer that. Doodles, I like to take your own standard against you. You said you were groomed with 17. No, that's fine. But I looked through that. I didn't see you ever telling your groomer that you were uncomfortable with it. That you didn't like it. Does that mean we shouldn't take your grooming serious now, Doodles? In your own logic?
How do we know that George's motivations are more malicious than maybe tone deaf? We literally can't, and I'm tired
How do we know that your groomer wasn't just like, hey, I want to take care of this little one? In diapers. Doodles, your own logic works against you.
Acting like this was okay. Plus, I want to point out that these drawings that Leo alluded to being a source of George's grooming. Even if they were sexual, it wasn't exclusive to Leo, which also puts into question—
Even if they were sexual. Wait. Even if they would have been sexual. You know, it wasn't exclusive to Leo. Listen, he did it to everyone, so it's fine. Doodles, what the fuck are you doing?
question how much of this could actually
What the fuck were you thinking?
be considered as such. I've mentioned this in my Sherman videos before, but grooming is a targeted action. Sure, you could argue someone can groom more than one person, but when George is making these kinds of images for anyone who's his friend above—
Guys, it's fine. He did it to anyone. Regardless of their age, it's fine.
Selection of people, then I'm sorry. Even if these had sexual undertones, it would just be grossly irresponsible and inappropriate at work.
Guys, it wouldn't have been grooming if he did it to minors, but it would have just been irresponsible. So, Doodles, do you know if your groomer did it to multiple people or just you? Once again, just asking, because I'm following Doodle's own logic here.
Worse. Now, let's look at the spin-off to this allegation. George bought his own Snow White dress to wear, posted pictures on his NSFW-ish Twitter,
Guys, I didn't cheat on my wife. I fuck anyone. It's fine.
and allegedly gave Leo some pictures of his own whilst pestering Leo to wear one themselves. I really don't know.
Yes, pestering the minor to wear the dress themselves. Being like, hey, did you get the dress yet? Hey, just get your parents to buy it. Hey, oh, you have this dress from when you were a child? Oh, that's fine too.
Know what more to say. This is just more of the same, unfortunately. Leo goes around painting Snow White as one of George's kinks, which has been put into question. Leo makes a very
Not
extreme
a question. I'll be real.
statement claiming that George was sending him pictures of himself wearing that outfit directly, making the claim—
Yeah, and then sending a picture of himself wearing that outfit. Once again, I'm asking the question. If you guys know a minor in your family, and there's this weird adult who's sending them pictures of himself in a dress, you would think nothing of that? You'd be like, oh, he's just weird. Big doubt.
The number of photos I got from him wearing the dress was almost 10 times the amount that he posted on his timeline. It very much became a weekly thing for him to do. He would send me 5 or more pictures of him in the dress and ask me for compliments, my overall thoughts, and if he looked cute/pretty. This is then followed by 0 screenshots of George doing this, and being probably the most frustrating example at the lack of screenshots being an issue with this document.
Bro, I'm not doing fit checks with a minor. I don't care what I'm wearing. Yes, exactly. Thanks, Saint, for having common sense.
Like, I can concede to the idea that maybe Leo wasn't able to get everything. Fine.
You know what I do? Yes, things you can't say on YouTube or you will be censored.
I'm not even saying that if Leo doesn't have every receipt in the world that these allegations should be put under extreme scrutiny. And I can accept the lack of evidence to a degree. But Leo is making such an enormous claim here alluding to George explicitly targeting them, and if there were that many instances of George doing this, why—
George did another drawing of doodletones a few weeks after doodletones released the video, something he did in 2010. Ain't that lovely? Ain't that just lovely?
Why don't we even see one of them? You were able to get a screen cap between you and George talking about it.
How is it going with the dress? I haven't found it yet, unfortunately, but I keep looking. Alright. So now you're complaining because they didn't show George in the dress. I bet if they did it, they would have complained, oh, why do you show George in the dress? Why did you have to do that? It's just to embarrass them. Fuck straight off.
Address, again with the problem of you visually not setting any boundaries for George to—
Again, George here. What do you think? It was cool. I really liked it. Glad to hear that. Any luck finding the dress? Yes, actually I have it now. Once I get home, I can try it on. Not sure if it'll fit since I got it when I was like 7 to 9. But I'm a small boy. I think I can try.
push, but I think I've hammered that in enough. But with the evidence showing George sending direct pics of him—
You see George asking multiple times if the miner can get the dress to wear for him. Okay? Shut the fuck up, Doodles.
wearing the Snow White dress, it doesn't exist. Why? This is one of your biggest allegations and easily one of your most damning ones to boot. Ugh. Anyway, following this, we then get the dysphoria conversation, Leo being an NB trans mask, and this one's a bit more of a—
The flasher flashed everyone, so it's fine. That's such a good comparison. That's such a good comparison. Oh, the flasher did it to everyone, so it's not sexual. You know, the flasher said it's not sexual. They just do it for fun. They like it.
Gray area. I'm not going to put into question whether dresses do or don't give Leo dysphoria. That is not my place to say. I'm also not—
Damn, Doodles, I thought you care about the trans.
Entirely too sure whether George did or didn't know whether Leo gets this way about dresses in particular. If George did know, then fuck, that's tone deaf as hell, and this could also go on the record as another one of George's actual transgressions.
Oh, you know what? The only thing I can accuse him of, transphobia.
Get it? If he didn't, then I can't really get onto his case about it, especially since Leo doesn't show his discomfort in the screenshots, and—
Oh, there we go again.
Get it? If he didn't, then I can't really get onto his case about it, especially since
Oh, this is the same one, okay.
Leo doesn't show his discomfort in the screenshots, and
You know what? At the time, it doesn't— the screenshots don't show his discomfort, so, not groomed.
Either way, this would be he said, she said—
According to Doodles.
Effectively. Still not grooming, mind you, but also not particularly great had George been guilty of knowingly setting off Leo's dysphoria. The continual excuse of, but George would beat himself up also doesn't exactly help matters either, because I get it, but those boundaries not being set doesn't give me any reason to believe—
Guys, the miners didn't set any boundaries. It's actually the miners' fault.
George's intentions—
If you think about it. Is what Doodles is saying here, right?
Conversations are more malicious than two friends bonding over a common interest.
Listen, they were just bonding. The adult and the minor were just bonding.
I don't want to seem dismissive
Over
about these
dresses.
claims, because I can't know how Leo actually felt about these conversations. For all I know, he could have been uncomfortable, and also I get how important it is to believe a victim of abuse. Plus, yeah, not every victim of abuse will know they're being abused. But it's hard to see George as an abuser when zero boundaries were initially drawn.
Listen, the minor didn't set any boundaries. That's the true problem here.
Instead, Leo willingly partook in these conversations.
Listen, the minor willingly partook in the conversations, so... Just like constant pestering can wear someone down, especially a minor. Yes. Yes, exactly.
Into what we are to believe to be George's desires. Leo's words paint one picture, whereas what we can see in the screenshots paints a totally—
Well, we don't know what the groomer thought, though. We don't know what was the groomer feeling at the time.
Contradictory one, and we're just supposed to believe these images are one of the same. We're not done, by the way. We still have the claim of magic tricks to talk about, and out the gate, I'm screaming. One of the first things you'll notice when going on his NSFW is his pinned tweet that you are
Yes, that
encouraged
he is very much into magic tricks.
to read before interacting with his page. It was there that he detailed the things that he found sexually appealing, aka his kinks and a few rules of the account. I'm sorry? So, Leo is willing to detail what was in that pinned tweet. He even goes on to explicitly mention the Delcode chair trick, George's favorite magic trick as outlined by his rules bulletin, but will conveniently leave out the section of Snow White when talking about that. I want to make—
Listen, just because, again... you know, Snow White is not a kink of mine, doesn't mean it's not a kink, Doodles. People say a lot. People say, deny a lot of things, especially things they could see as embarrassing. Or that could get them into trouble. For how long did you deny having the diaper fetish? Just because we're embarrassed? But it's very clear it was a fetish. Come on now, Doodles.
Make it clear that I'm not out here trying to pin Leo as this bad person.
You kinda do.
But covering this document makes it really hard when stuff like this is scattered throughout the entire thing. It gets very blatant. But yeah, so George did have a thing for magic tricks, specifically the Dakota chair, and yes, he even described it as a kink. So we are getting into some arguably creepy territory, and hey, credit where it's due.
Oh, arguably creepy territory now. I think it was about time I shared with you one of the famous versions of the Dakota chair, done with the one and only David Copperfield. Side note, I am currently wearing the Snow White dress, right now, as I sent you the video. Again, mixing the Snow White dress with his kink. What are you doing in that Snow White dress, George? Why are you telling the miner that you're wearing the dress while you sent him a video of the Dakota chair, which you said is your fucking kink?
Talks about how George sent some videos involving something he finds to be his kink, and then actually shows us George doing so. However, and this is where I must remind you all that I'm not an expert and am merely giving my 2 cents on the matter, grooming is
You truly are not an expert. You don't have to say that. We see it.
usually done with the goal of sexual or financial satisfaction, and
I hate these people. Doodles is literally what they get here. Someone is interacting with their kink. The miner is interacting with the fucking kink.
regardless of how creepy it may seem within the DMs, and you can definitely make an argument for it or against it being creepy, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna fight a person one way or another about it.
You're literally fighting it right now. This is 2 years after they were ousted.
However, with the screenshots that we see in Leo's document, as much as they exist and show us that George did send these videos, the screenshots seem more conversational than
Doodletones is like this German socialist who defend Jack Onderberger, a German serial killer, because they thought he was smart. Listen, he might have been a serial killer, but he was really smart, okay? He brought up the fucking dress while talking about the magic kink. Obvious point of them both being kinks. Yep. Exactly what I mean. I hope he wasn't into bears that way. That combo would be sad.
sexual or malicious. The first one shows George sharing the Dakota.
Was the miner aware it was interacting with the kink? Yes. After they were... That's why they mentioned it in the Google Doc. Because they were invited to the not safe for work site. And later they were like, hey, please don't share this to me again. But then, 2 years after they turned 16, he came back to them. Because the first time George interacted with Leo was when Leo was 14. Then he was told by some friends, hey, this is inappropriate. Please don't draw this miner again. Don't do this again. And then after 2 years, when the miner was 16, George came crawling back.
Performed by David Copperfield, before presumably going on to talk about the Snow White dress he bought for himself. By the way, cross-dressing in the way George was doing so is also not proof of George doing it to be sexual. Just should get that out of the way. If he finds this...
Okay. Hey, it's just cross-dressing for fun, you know? Okay, fine, I can show this. New pause screen. We'll be right back! Stream to Wailed. Fine, fine, you know what? You win. You win this one, Fishy.
the dress to be more aesthetically appealing, then it's just George
Listen, it's just the aesthetic that George is into.
having an issue with cross-dressing. If you want to make an argument otherwise, you're going to have to provide me with some proof that he does find Snow White dresses to be sexual.
Again, Doodles, my proof is I have common sense. And George was mixing the Snow White dress while looking at magic tricks that he admitted is a kink. Case closed, fucker.
Because I just don't have any reason to believe otherwise besides a because Leo and Gwen said so. The second screenshot was just George talking about how he did draw Leo's character doing the trick, but never actually showed it to Leo, nor did Leo really call George out on being
Actually, I kinda do wanna quick mention a drawing I did a good while ago. Alright. So, the one drawing I did, but never completed, was a step-by-step drawing of your OC vanishing from the Dakota chair, which is his favorite magic trick, kink. Had him covered up with a cloth, and the final part is an empty chair. Oh, that's so cool. Doodles. Oh, you know, it doesn't show the miner being uncomfortable. Doodles. This is literally them admitting, hey, I did draw you in my kink.
about it, prefaced by Leo continuing the
It's kind of another boy. Yes, it is, but it doesn't matter because it is his fucking kink. It is something that sexually arouses him. And this is not something you should involve minors in. It's something you get turned on by.
the narrative of just because George feels guilty about things means you can't draw boundaries, apparently. As
Listen, he might have admitted that he groomed. But you know what? You can't... Fuck you.
by the following statements. I did watch them all, but only because I felt pressured to. Maybe it would have been easy for you to say no, but I can't do that. I can't shut someone down like that, especially not someone
I
like
can.
George, who practically lives by the philosophy of don't call me out of my bullshit because I will beat myself up until you feel like a monster and drop the charges. He had done this multiple times. Looking back on it now, I can only really describe it as him forcing his kink on me. We'll talk about his motivations another time, but that is what he is doing. Which only really reaffirms that this was a document that had more of an...
When a 30-something he appeared with me when I was 15, I also didn't seem uncomfortable. God damn it, Wing. But yeah, at that moment, the minor is mostly unaware of how wrong it is, so of course they don't feel uncomfortable at the time.
narrative woven into it more than just informing people of what happened. By now at this point, you might be wondering
Even if they are uncomfortable, they won't say it.
what my point is bringing all this stuff up, as it looks like I'm trying to make Leo out to be this worse individual than he is, and that would be a fair assumption to make, especially with just how frustrated I've been getting at this document. However, to clear the air, I'm not saying Leo is doing any...
Yeah, also Saint has a good explanation here. In particular, the costumes when it comes to the disappearing trick. It's particular the binding, and then them being helpless. Yep. It's like the helpless part that really gets their jerky going. That's what we wanna say.
of this stuff on purpose. This feels more impulsive than vindictive.
Listen, he just impulsively groomed a minor. You don't understand.
Reading the document as much as I have, you can tell he felt very emotional writing it. If this is true...
Also really funny that you only read the victims or Leo's document instead of George's, where he admitted that he did it with multiple minors, so really funny doodles. Funny coincidence there.
how he felt on the matter, then fine. I'm not going to invalidate someone's feelings on the matter because I can't
Your whole video is invalidating their feelings on it.
feasibly know how he actually felt. My point, ultimately, at the end of the day, is that I don't feel as if George is a groomer. There's just not enough evidence to label him as such. Grooming is a targeted, manipulative action used to get something out of a minor, but nothing we see in the screenshots Leo shows demonstrate any form of attempted sexual or financial satisfaction on George's end. I must be fair and reiterate...
It's literally getting sexual satisfaction by getting someone to interact with the kink. Some people are even into it when they get people to interact with their kink unsuspectingly. So...
that yes, Leo could have been very uncomfortable by everything the two of them talked about. George could have been very inappropriate, and yes...
yeah, you can also be really uncomfortable in hindsight once you realize everything that happened there. Doodles, once again, you didn't look really uncomfortable in the screenshots you showed about your grooming. You're invalidating your own grooming right now, Doodles.
Yes, he was absolutely irresponsible. I'm not saying he did nothing wrong. I just don't see a groomer here. And I feel as if there were people who kinda saw it too quickly. When...
was it consensual? No. Oh, what do you mean? Ah.
finally confronted, George ended the final conversation with Leo, admitting to his mistakes, and fessing up to the fact that he didn't know these conversations.
Even after we talked it out yesterday about the UFO count. Okay, I already read that one.
With Leo made Leo uncomfortable. He asked what he could do to make things better besides not grooming, showing...
Wait, Doodles, you can't just go over that like that. Wait, Doodles, you can't just go over it like that. I didn't know about this. I'm sorry for that as well. I stopped doing that. I've already admitted I messed up big time. What can I do to make things better? Aside from not grooming you. Doodles. You can't just speak over that like that. Doodles. Doodles. This dude is asking, hey, what can I do to make things better, you know, aside from not grooming you? This is fucking insane, Doodles. Doodles.
He even believed. And personally, things better besides not grooming.
I want to hear Doodles' explanation for it again.
Didn't know these conversations with Leo made Leo uncomfortable. He asked what he could do to make things better besides not grooming, showing that the accusation was something he even believed.
I love that Doodles is just going over that like it's not fucking insane.
And personally, this is my least favorite part of Leo's document. George was apologizing for everything that Leo had taken issue with. Sure, George's apology was
Yes,
self-destructive.
sorry you've taken issue with me grooming you.
As I said, he did have a habit of doing that. However, George also, at the end of the day, understood that the two of them needed time apart. Why was this looked at as a groomer?
Well, why was this looked as a groomer? Because they're stupid.
Trying to get with a child? Like, George couldn't have known that these conversations were uncomfortable or were seen as inappropriate until Leo told him, because...
Oh, George didn't know it was inappropriate to talk to a minor like this guy. It's fine. Doodles. Doodles. How the fuck were you in the Predator Hunter scene?
As stated before, there were no boundaries drawn between the two of them. Once there finally were, George apologized and then the two of them unfollowed each other's vents, breaking off the friendship with each other. This is just not the behavior of a manipulative person. Leo's confusion in this document too is honest to God justified because
Not a manipulative person. You see him literally whine everywhere. And even in the Cloud Palace. In the Cloud Palace things that came up, you saw George Raccoon being like, nobody likes my drawings, why am I even still doing this? He's a whiny bitch, okay? To get attention. Come on now.
George saying that he didn't know what he was doing was wrong and apologizing for grooming are two totally contradictory ideas. Because
this is jar logic. Yes, Castella Pudding literally is.
Grooming is intentional. Like, yes, you could say George is
Listen, grooming is intentional. You can't accidentally groom a minor.
To grooming here and is apologizing for such. But like, I don't believe that George would have seen it as such had Leo not initially brought it up in their conversation. Neither of them were even sure that this was the case. It was just something that someone else said was grooming. Ugh. At the end of the day, to recap, do I think George groomed Leo? No. Do I think
Well,
George
you're retarded then.
was irresponsible? Absolutely. Do I think this document does its job properly? No. Do I think
Did it to me.
Leo should have drawn boundaries with George sooner? Yes. Do I think Leo is a bad person? No. Do I believe Leo was a victim? Well, personally speaking, yes. That last one
Didn't seem like it the whole time.
might be a bit of a confusing statement to make, what with everything I outlined today, but if you'll allow me, I have been
I will
thinking
not allow you. I give you the allowance to die.
about this document a lot, and as I said earlier, I don't believe Leo wrote this document with the goal to purposely ruin George's friendships or reputation in the community. The language used within this document seems more concerned and scared than anything else, almost as if somebody else implanted the belief that this behavior was grooming.
Listen, I don't think they are a victim of grooming, but I think they are a victim of manipulation. Doodles, fuck yourself. Fuck yourself sideways.
We know that there is, considering Gwen's reaction to
Yeah, Doodles, okay, does that mean Doodles believes minors can consent? Because if they cannot consent and set boundaries, then it would imply she believes they can. Crazy how that works, right?
George drawing.
Remember, it took her 2 years to think this over, but still decided to make this video. Yes, and even during these 2 years, I heard Doodles went around to multiple people and being like, softening them up for George Raccoon, you know? You know, getting them a little prepared, you know, to let them back in. Crazy amount of work here.
People in Snow White dresses was to directly tell Leo not to allow George to do that, plus the conversation George and Leo had breaking it off.
Doodles, have you ever played Persona 3?
Now, perhaps I'm thinking too deep into it. Perhaps this is a bit conspiratorial. At the end of the day, this is speculation, so take this section with more of a grain of salt. However, I just can't get over that last portion. Leo's last DM with George, where he starts the conversation telling George that some other people brought up that George was grooming him. I'm not gonna say who, because that's
Yeah, Doodles groomed bystanders into liking George confirmed? Yeah.
not important. I don't believe that. So throughout Leo's document, Charlie or Channel Grey and Gwen are constantly alluded to as people that Leo was super close to. Coming from someone who was also...
so Doodles is literally like, you know what? He wasn't a victim of George Raccoon, but from other people. You manipulated him into thinking he was groomed. Doodles is fucking retarded.
friends with the both of them for a brief period of time, though, they both had a history of not liking George. So back in mid-2018, I think, George actually initially wrote a document about Channel Grey being abusive towards him, with Gwen following in this abuse. In this document, George outlined how Grey would get overly aggressive at the
Of course, because it was Gwen.
meal of transgressions, how they had a mentality that you had to immediately change or fuck off and get thrown out of the group or thrown out of chats, how Charlie in particular was
Listen, how could people that didn't like George tell Leo he was groomed? Gee, I wonder why these people didn't not like George Raccoon, Doodles.
a two-faced individual who'd be quick to turn on those they had a problem with, how Charlie had a complete disregard to mental disorders, how they had a tendency to start
Oh my
shit with other
god, not a disregard for mental disorders. The worst.
people, how confrontational they were about everything, even if it didn't really need to be a big of a deal, would actually
I think it is quite a big of a deal.
those who cut them off. I can vouch for that one. Jesus, it really is like talking about
Wait, what was this profile picture?
people would actually guilt trip those who cut them off. I can vouch for that.
Ah, okay.
That one. Jesus, it really is like talking about V Omega all over again. But yes, Shadow Grey was incredibly a toxic person who I would not put past to be the person in play.
Listen, it was actually Leo's friends who were super toxic, okay?
Leo's head about George grooming them. And with Ren effectively being described in that document as Charlie's yes girl at the time, her backing Grey up on all this also doesn't exactly surprise me. That doesn't even touch on what they did to some of their other friends. Mind you, again, this part of my video is speculation, to be honest, and I could be totally off base with this claim. All I know is that when you get a person who is willing to be this abusive and manipulative, and give them the idea that they could do something like this is an outcome that could be possible. But ultimately, I won't say.
Of course, this is the one who shit talked was the fucking that's the fucking abusive one.
Sure, one way or another. I don't actually have evidence to back this up. On that note, I also won't say one way or another that George for sure wasn't guilty or wasn't innocent. I don't believe he's a groomer, personally. I don't think
I don't believe he's a groomer. I personally totally believe he's a groomer. Fuck you, Doodles.
Nearly enough evidence to say that he is. And I hope I was able to make my case clear enough for you guys to understand.
No.
Maybe I've changed some minds. Maybe I've at
No.
least put another perspective on the situation.
No. Sadly, at this time, of course, there were many yes men who was like, oh yes, Doodles. Oh, yes, Doodles. You're so good. You're so good. Mm-hmm. Oh, let George Raccoon back in. Welcome back, George Raccoon. The fucking minors at the time, the fucking victims of this, went and apologized to George because they felt they had to, okay? You know how fucked up that is? Fuck you, Doodles. Fuck yourself sideways.
Maybe I'm totally off base with defending a groomer.
Yes, you are.
Sure, some of you will happily tell me I am regardless, but
I am very happy to tell you that.
In any case, I just wanted to get this off my chest. I do hope everyone involved is having a good day, is making a change in their life, and I hope you guys continue having a good day after this video
I
is
hope
up.
your life only gets worse from this point on.
There. This is Doodletones, and time to see what happens. Take
Time
care.
you fuck off. So yeah, that was the infamous George Raccoon video. I hope you all didn't enjoy it. And with that, we have come to the end. It's finally over. It's finally over. Or ACC, SCC special is over. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for going through the insane asylum with me. It was a pleasure. Or should I say displeasure? I'm going insane and you leave? Yes. It's never over. You know what? There will be probably some else. There will probably something else in a few weeks at most. There's always no one ever leaves. No one ever leaves. But with that, I hope you all have a great night, a good evening, whatever time it is for you. And fuck, I didn't prepare the outro. Wait. 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 Bye-bye.